stand up, to Dr. David Israel, and to all our saints in Demona. My brother Ashriel, God bless you. Great to hear from you this morning. In care of my spiritual father, the late, great Archbishop Jerry McCullough Sr., Faith Temple Apostolic International Ministry, the Glorious Churches of Canada, Emmanuel Church of Jesus Christ Apostolic. This is Shiloh. This is the real spiel. For those who have not been paying attention, World War III has begun. I know, sounds like a very crazy conspiracy theory, right? No. World War III has begun. And the first bow, the first shot across the bow has taken place, I would say, on Christmas Day. Christmas Day, Trump bombed Africa. So, bombing Africa. A few days later, bombing the Caribbean. And abducting a world leader. I know you've been here for a while, so you know that's happened already. Next, a blockade, a naval blockade taking place in the Caribbean, blocking all Venezuelan oil from going anywhere. Telling people to line up on one side or the other side. Next, threats to independent European nations, Latin America, sovereign constitutional nations. World War III is here. What you're not paying attention to is that you have a president in the White House who isn't afraid to tell you it's here. He's not hiding that it's here. He is in full conqueror acquisition mode. He is in the same mentality of Napoleon. He is running like Alexander the Not Great. And he is adopting ancient medieval empire tactics of Great Britain, of Spain, of Rome, and he has begun moving the chess pieces around. Why do you believe that all of his recent press conferences, most of them have been held in Air Force One? Because he is at war. Whether you believe the world to be at war, he is at war. He's moving himself around. He's making sure that he cannot be located in any one particular place. Okay? He's at war. And I don't know if you've ever been in this situation in your life, but I have. Have you ever been fighting against a person that you don't want to fight, but they're full out fighting? They're swinging for the fences while you've got your hands up and saying, hey, wait a minute. And but they're coming for you. They're picking up things, coming at you, and you don't want to fight, but they're at war. That's what's happening. He's at war. And he's at war with a manifesto. The manifesto is this. He recognizes that this is a critical time for America. That America is economically surrounded and cut off. They've been surrounded by China, in his mind, surrounded by Islamists in his mind. This is their belief system, right? This is their belief system. So he's surrounded by the economics of the mastery of China's economic power around the world. He is surrounded by the fact that most of the major resources are being tapped by either Saudi Arabia, Russia, or China. Most of Venezuelan's oil goes to China or Russia. He has created an embargo there. He has made sure that no one else can prosper unless he gets his cut, period. And he wants the lion's share. He has learned in his last few years of running a nation, he has learned who to follow. He likes dictators, we know that. But he loves the fact of appropriation of territory and appropriation of resources. And he's following the Manifesto of America. He doesn't want to arbitrarily go as far, maybe, as some people have done right away, which is why he didn't kill Madero. He just kidnapped Madero. But he is not he's not against murdering individuals, as we know, murdering heads of state. That's why he is moving around. So America is at war with the world, and if it's not clear to you, I think you should shake your head and recognize he is going after all of the old enemies. He's going after Cuba. He's going after Colombia. He wants to make sure that Russia cannot encroach upon him, and that's why he's going after Greenland and Denmark. He's saying, no, you can't do that. At the same time, he's trying to play policeman with Vladimir and Zelensky, because that's exactly what Vladimir is saying. NATO is not setting up shop in the Ukraine, and so he's not even worrying about that anymore. He's saying, you know what, we got to go do a land grab, a resource grab for ourselves, and we better do it quick. We better do it before the midway elections. I forget what they call them in America. He's afraid that those elections will go against him, because when he does this, the Republican Party is not going to look very good in America. Also, what you realize is all of the people that you threw under the bus, Dr. Jeremiah Wright, Malema, and all these anti-so-called American sentiment individuals who've been telling you for years how wicked and how evil America has been. You now in America have to come to this conclusion. Either you accept and say, we're okay with being the bad guy. We're okay as long as we have a president that's going to use all of our military might to make sure that we own all the chess pieces. Or you have to say, I'm sorry. I was wrong. You're right. We are murderers and killers. We are people that abscond with the lives and the resources of other nations. We have committed coups and overthrown governments. We are the greatest terrorists on the face of the world and the most evilest nation that has ever been even thought about. You have to either say one or the other. You have to own it and say, hey, better us be the biggest bully in the yard, or say, you know what, you're right. We're a terrible nation. But it's one or the other. It's one or the other. And I know which one you're going to choose. You're going to say, hey, I don't say hello to the bad guy. You're gonna say that. First you get the money, then you get the power. You know, you're gonna go in that particular direction, because that's what Americans do. And then those that are living in America who are the subjects of prior regime oppression have to either assimilate or sit down and shut up. You either have to declare that you're part of the American circumstances and situationship that you're living in. You have to pick up your gun, join the army, toe the company line, or you have to sit this one out. It's one or the other. And you're not in a very good place. Also, I'm suggesting that all those Americans who are overseas, that are somewhere not inside of America, don't go around telling people that you're American. Don't do it to yourself. You need to keep your head down. All of you YouTubers that are making money traveling all over the place, being, that American that's traveling all over the place, keep your head down. If you're in Latin America, keep your head down, because Americans are not favorable people. I don't care if you're a Black American. You're not safe because you're a Black American. Not safe. You're an American. And it's going to be real difficult being an American anywhere in the world right now. You're not safe anywhere in the world right now. You're not safe. To the Caribbean, namely my country, Trinidad, let's start with us. You need to just quiet down your support for Trumpism. Trumpism doesn't last forever. Remember the words of Henry Kissinger. To be a friend to America is dangerous. All right. So to be an enemy to America is dangerous, but to be a friend to America is fatal. To be an enemy to America is dangerous, but to be a friend to America is fatal. Not my words. That's Henry Kissinger. So I think that we need to recognize that we're in war. It's World War III. Things are going to go crazy. You're going to see inflation hit every nation in the world. These so-called greedy imperialists who are ready to walk into Venezuela, do you know what you're walking into? I'm talking about the imperialist oil companies. You're walking into 25 million people that have now been bonded in solidarity to say that we will not let you overthrow our country. You're walking into young people who are ready to bear arms. You're walking into great ideologies and the references to Chavez and to eras that are before this modern era that say that we will not allow this thief to step in here and to siphon out all of our oil. You're in a dangerous situation because when you come against a people who already don't have anything to lose, they don't have anything to lose in Venezuela. Their economy is gone. All they have is bullets and survival and hope. And you coming in there, stealing out the president and declaring that you're going to run their country, you've taken all hope away. And Delcy Rodriguez is in she's between a rock and a hard place. Because if Delcy Rodriguez looks to capitulate herself to America, even that 90 days that she has, she won't last. She won't last. The 90 plus the 90 days that she has in her constitution to call elections, she won't last. Anyone that looks like they're capitulating to America, you might be sitting in presidential palaces. You might be sitting with stripes on your shoulders as a general or a chief, but you're going to have millions of Venezuelans ready to murder you because they do not want to be colonized again. And the world is not looking to be colonized again. You are in a very, very, very dangerous position if you think that you're going to colonize people who have already thrown the chains off of their back. And Delcy Rodriguez, I'm praying for you, sister, because you have a gun to one head, one side of your head, and you have sticks and rocks from your people on the other, and you're in a very difficult position because you have to tell them no. I'll take the words of Cat Williams. Diddy wants to party, and you gotta tell him no. Trump wants your country, and you gotta tell him no. You have no choice. In fact, history will hold you accountable to what you do next. And you can't even, the Bible says, to shun the very appearance of evil. You can't say anything that even looks like you're potentially thinking about having conversations with Trump. You have to be unequivocal and say that your country is not for sale. And any conversations that you will have will not be selling away the future of Venezuela. And if anyone wants to come to the table to have a conversation about that, they can. But you cannot have a conversation with terrorists who have taken away the leader of the country. First and foremost, Maduro has to be released. That's before we can start having negotiations. We can't have negotiations at gunpoint. How can I sit down and have negotiations with you when you have kidnapped the leader of our country? How can you start talking about our resources when you have kidnapped our leader? First and foremost, Maduro has to be released, and these charges have to be dropped. Let's get that out of the way right away. Let's start right there. You can't start having negotiations when the president and the first lady are sitting in a holding cell for the next 2 months. That nothing can happen. No conversations can happen until Maduro is released. So we can't have a conversation until Maduro is released. That should be the first thing that you say. First thing you have to release. We're not going to be dealing with terrorism. This is terrorism. This is gunpoint negotiation, gunpoint diplomacy. Can't happen, right? The army has to back her up, and the leaders of the army have to say that you have wired all of your national resources to go boom, boom, boom the second that anyone comes for them. America is chasing in the sea, they are chasing oil tankers, running them down. They are trying to be the wardens of the seven seas and trying to seize oil tankers coming from Venezuela, people who, sorry, oil tankers that have been legitimately purchased through from Russia and China. They're saying that they're trying to claim them. Imagine seizing property that has been legally obtained and you're trying to seize them. What is your right to seize them? What is your right to seize somebody's property on the way to another country and you think that you have the right to seize them? You're at war. They've seized a oil tanker heading to Russia. They're at war. Okay? They have a naval blockade telling nations that have made business deals with Venezuela, you can't come and pick up your goods. What does that sound like? You're at war. You are at war. And so what will happen now, because these resources are required, oil tankers are going to be accompanied by what? Bombers, by jet fighters. And you're going to have to escort all of your goods with military all over the world now. That's the new world order. Is that you can't just sail a ship over there, pick up your stuff. No, you've got to send your military to escort your stuff, not to protect you from pirates, to protect it from other nations who will loot your oil. Is there such an energy crisis now that we haven't been told about? That you have to now start playing Mad Max with oil all over the world? They must know something that we don't, and they probably do. They know they're in a crisis. They know they're in a circumstance and situation. And this is why they took that bold move. Bold move. And Nigeria's next. Nigeria, you're next. Because you have just as much ability to stop America as Venezuela. The only difference is you have 250 million Nigerians. I don't know how many of you are going to fight. They tested you out. They wanted to see what you're made of. Went over there and threw some bombs over there and see what you would do. They ain't trying that in South Africa because they got crazy people like Malema saying, hey, we will blow you up. We are in a place where you are at war. The world is at war. And the quicker that you figure that out, I think the smarter and the safer you're going to be. You're going to realize this is not a time for planning all these wonderful trips. I want to travel. I want to go here and I want to go there. You have to be very, very, very thought oriented when it comes to even where you want to retire. Imagine that you're saying, oh, I want to go retire in Colombia. Not right now. That might not be a good idea right now. We know Venezuela is probably not a place that most expatriates would want to go retire. But you might not want to go retire. Americans and even Canadians who are thinking of retiring somewhere in Latin America, that might not be a good idea right now. You want to take a nice trip? I don't know about right now. They're kidnapping and deporting Haitians back to Haiti. They're canceling their visas. Haiti, a lot of you guys go to Dominican Republic. Listen, the Latin world right now should be revving up for armed combat. That's what the Latin world should be doing. They should be standing in solidarity from Mexico to Brazil. Okay? I'm sure people in Panama are saying that's the same thing they did to us. The Caribbean should be sitting down and having conversations about what are they going to do when it comes to the cooperation of utilizing their ports, utilizing their airspace, they're utilizing their sea space for American imperialism. They have to have a real serious conversation because the world is changing and it's changing fast. 2026 has arrived and it has arrived like a lion, and bombs are blowing up all over the world. It's a new world order and it's being run by a guy in the White House, and it's serious. For all of you people who are like, oh, the Venezuelan people were so happy that Maduro was taken out, now you know the truth. You can see they're not celebrating and dancing in the streets in Venezuela. No, they're saying, you know what? Gringo, we're waiting for you. That's what they're saying. They're chanting it. Gringo, you're not taking our country. We're waiting for you. You people don't know what Venezuela is about, but you're going to find out. The unfortunate thing is that Maduro, I think that he took Trump lightly, and he was saying strong things at the beginning, but he didn't realize how far Trump was ready to go. But I think the world now is the world understands that. I think every single world leader is now on absolute alert. If you've ever had a tussle with America, you're at high alert. I think every major um, African nation, all the Sahel states, definitely Latin America, definitely Nigeria, you should all overnight, this is my last thing I'm going to say, add 1 million people to your armed forces. You should open up the doors and say that we are adding 1 million people to our armed forces. Come on in. Tell them what you're going to pay them. Start building the infrastructures to put them up and to house them. It's going to be an infusion into your country. Absolutely. Right? It's going to stimulate your all of your trades and your manufacturing, because you're going to have to build housing for these individuals and mobilize everyone from 17 years old to 40 years old, men and women, boys and girls, and put them in that army, navies, Air Force, Marines, begin to train them, begin to get them ready, because it's here. It's not coming, it's here. And everybody needs to spruce up that army. And then next, you need to call India and get yourself some up-to-date technology, because America is coming in there and shutting off all your electricity, hitting you so that your electricity is shut down, making sure they can come in stealth and not be seen by any radar systems. I'm sorry, you can't buy nothing from Russia no more, because it seemed like that stuff from Russia is figured out by America. You need to go get some stuff from India and Pakistan. Go get some stuff from the North Koreans, and figure out your technological systems, because they're coming in. They're coming in like they're coming from outer space. Shut down the grid. Walked in with no detection. Walked into the situation. You don't have an alarm clock or a flashlight. They shutting down all your technology and coming in and taking you in 40 seconds. Come on. So you're at war. The world is at war. You just better recognize it. This is Del K. Brereton. This is The Real Spiel. I could say so much more, but there's just so much more to say. Last thing, actually. They said yesterday what America is expecting from Venezuela. They wanted Rodriguez to expel China, Iran, Russia, expel them, exclusively deal with America when it comes to oil, an exclusive arrangement that America will control, and that America will ingratiate itself and the Venezuelan people. I think it was something like that, and that they don't have any choice. And like I said, Delcy, my girl, I wouldn't want to be in your position. I really wouldn't want to be in your position, because these people will bomb you from outer space. You're in a tough situation, and if you have places to hide to make sure that people don't know where you are, you better start doing that right now. Scramble. I would dress up. I would have 500 Venezuelan girls wearing my dress, my glasses, and my wig, and make sure that you have all kind of Delcy Rodriguez 2, 3, 4, 5 to 10 all over the place walking around looking just like you, so they don't know which Del C is the right Del C. That's what I would do. I'd make sure that you wouldn't know where I am. I'd be broadcasting from a different place in the country every single day, and I would be constantly moving. Never stay still. Don't sleep in any stationary scenario. You better sleep on the move because you are at war. God bless you. This is Del K. Burton. This is The Real Spiel. Shiloh Institute. Stand up until I see you again.